What's up, y'all? It's your man, Dad Dude, bringing you guys another video. So the Panthers unfortunately fall short to the Falcons by a score of 24-10. And I'm just going to come right out and say it. The Panthers lost that game because of Bryce Young. But before you jump in the comments, telling me off, it was Bryce Young's first start as a rookie. Yeah, he threw multiple picks, but plenty of quarterbacks have gone on to have successful careers after throwing multiple picks in their NFL debut. Peyton Manning to name one, Eli did it. Plenty of quarterbacks have thrown multiple picks in their first game and went on to have fine careers. So I'm not saying that Bryce Young is a bust because of this game, not at all. But the Panthers did lose this game because of the mistakes that Bryce Young made. Those two picks that he threw were backbreaking. Now, yeah, Jesse Bates is a great safety. He's a really good safety. He's a ball hawk. So the fact that Bryce Young would get tricked by Jesse Bates and a couple of interceptions is not all that surprising, but they are interceptions that Bryce Young threw. That's on the quarterback. He has to wear that. The Panthers lost this game largely because of those interceptions. Because both interceptions, the Falcons scored on both of them. I think they had 10 points off those picks. They gave the Falcons short fields and they put the defense in a compromised position. So, yeah, the Panthers lost the game because of Bryce Young and those picks. It's going to happen with the rookie quarterback. It's going to happen with any quarterback, even Patrick Mahomes. As great as I think he is, I have said that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time. The Chiefs are going to lose games on occasion because of Patrick Mahomes. It happens. Bryce Young is a rookie, and he threw 2 picks in his first game. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it is what it is. So I want to get past that. I want to go into try to find some positives from this game. One positive, the running game was fairly effective. Chuba Hubbard, who would have guessed that Chuba would have been the best running back on the day for the Panthers. So Chuba played really well. I hope he gets more carries next week against the Saints because I think he was the most effective running back, at least in the running game that the Panthers had. Now we all know that Chuba can't really catch, although I think he caught both of the passes thrown his way in this game. But the passing game has always been Chuba's weak point. But he ran really well. He ran with authority. He hit the hole hard when the hole was there. He was patient when he had to find the hole. Like he was the most effective running back on the day for the Panthers. I hope he gets more carries against the Saints. Another positive, the pass blocking, like the offensive line in general, played really well. Bryce Young had a lot of time in the pocket on many occasions to make throws. See, Bryce Young wasn't touched all that much until the latter half of the fourth quarter because the offensive line blocked very well. Now, yeah, some of that was Bryce Young getting rid of the ball like on time or getting rid of the ball when nothing was there. But for as much as I was worried about the offensive line going into that game, they played pretty well. If the offensive line plays like that for the rest of the season, Bryce Young should have a pretty good rookie campaign because the offensive line played better than I would have expected. I really thought it was going to be a disaster, but it wasn't. So, good on the coaches, good on the players for stepping up and coming through when the team needed them. Another positive, the defense. I thought the defense, for as much as they got gashed by Bijan and Algier, the defense largely played pretty well. Now, yeah, Desmond Ridder is not a great quarterback. The Falcons don't really have a great passing attack, although they do have guys that you would consider to be weapons in Drake London and Kyle Pitts. They largely held those guys in check. It was the running game that kind of gave the Panthers problems, and it was the short field that gave the defense problems because it was turnovers that the offense committed. So I thought the defense still played largely very well. Brian Burns out there just creating havoc in the first half of the game. You could tell the Falcons switched their game plan up to limit what he could do in the second half, but that first half, Brian Burns was everywhere. Pay the man. He earns his money. Brian Burns needs to get paid. We saw what he can do. Now, it's time to focus on some negatives. And the biggest negative from that game has to be the Panthers receiving core because the offensive line played really well. The running game was pretty effective. The receivers left a lot to be desired. Now, DJ Chark did not play. That was a huge hit to the Panthers receiving core. They didn't have that one receiver who could take the top off the defense. Although there was an occasion where Jonathan Mingo beat the coverage. Jonathan Mingo was open deep and Bryce Young missed him. So Jonathan Mingo might be the guy who has to be the deep threat for the Panthers because they don't have another player on the roster who can be that deep threat. It might have to be Jonathan Mingo. At this point in his career, Adam Thielen is not going to be that guy. Terrace Marshall just doesn't have the explosiveness or the deep speed to be that guy. Jonathan Mingo, despite him and Terrace Marshall, I believe, having similar 40 times, Jonathan Mingo just seems more explosive than Terrace Marshall. So I think Jonathan Mingo is just going to have to be that guy if he can do it. until DJ Chark comes back. And even when DJ Chark comes back, there's no guarantee he's going to be around for the rest of the season. The guy's injury prone at this point in his career. I think it's safe to say that. So either Jonathan Mingo has to step up and be that number one guy, be that explosive play threat, or the Panthers gonna have to go out there and find a receiver on the trade market who can strike fear into defenses. He doesn't have to be a great receiver. He just has to be somebody that defenses have to account for, that defenses can't play up on. They have to sit back. They have to make sure there's a safety over the top because that guy can go deep at any moment. They have to go find that guy if there's not a guy currently on the roster who can do that for Bryce Young, because Bryce Young desperately needs somebody who can open the field up. Nobody we have right now, unless Mingo steps up and Chark comes back and stays healthy, which you can't really bank on that. Nobody else we have really provides that. I expected the Panthers to win this game. I know a lot of people did too. I think the score I thought it would be was like 24-17 Panthers. Not even close. It was 24-10 Falcons. That was a disappointment. I really thought the Panthers was going to win, but hey, this was the first game of the season. Bryce Young's first game as an NFL quarterback, as far as games that matter. There are some things to look forward to going forward in the season because the offensive line played well. The running game was good. The defense showed flashes of being a really great defense. So there are some positives to take away from this game. But it's always disappointing when the Panthers lose. It always leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It ruins the rest of my Sunday after the Panthers lose the game. I know a lot of you guys feel the same. But hey, hopefully after this we can move on the next week and have a better showing against the Saints. And just hope for a better outcome next week. That's a lot for you in this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you are so inclined, subscribe and leave a comment. How did you feel about that Falcons game? What are the takeaways that you had? And how do you feel about this season going forward? Leave a comment. I respond to just about everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.